All right, all right, all right. Good afternoon and welcome to SOS Radio Live. We are One Step Ahead Radio Show and we are here. We have amazing guests. We have amazing story to let you hear today. We just want to let you know that last week was a rerun of my first show. So if you tuned in last week, you got to see my interview. And because of the storm, so we have pushed Lisa Krap's back, but she's right here with me in the studio on today. So buckle up, because guess what? It's another power hour of some information. We are here to inspire you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We are here to educate you, inspire, and celebrate real people making a difference. You already know I'm your host, Dr. Mack, and tonight's show is one that touches the heart. You all know that October is Cancer Awareness Month. And joining me today is a woman whose journey defines strength, okay, courage, and faith. She is a survivor, a warrior,
Yes, yes.
and a voice of hope for so many, a voice of hope for so many. Please help me welcome Miss Lisa A. Craps to the SOS One Step Ahead radio show. Miss Lisa, welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here today.
It's my pleasure to have you. You know, I did my homework on you, and I read so much about you within the last 10 years. And I just wondered, I kept saying, do she rest? Do she go to sleep? Do she take a break? Because your journey is of essence of powerful, strength. And one of the things that I loved about your profile picture, you had those pink gloves on,
Yes, my
and that
boxing
just stayed
gloves.
in my head because that's what we have to do sometime within this
Gotta
walk of
fight.
life. Is we got to fight. We got to fight. But I want to get this first segment started. And I want to talk a little bit to you about your journey. Okay, I want to know, Lisa, if we could just take you back.
Hmm.
Okay, if I could just take you
Oh,
back
absolutely.
to the beginning. When did your journey start, and what led you to your diagnosis?
My journey started in August of 2016. Always got my mammogram every single year. It was that one year I missed.
Wow.
One year I missed was the following year when I got my mammogram is when I got the diagnosis.
Mm,
So that tells you right there, a year can make a
big
difference.
difference.
So August of 2016, now I was in the process of purchasing a home and going through that whole process. And on that same day that I was signing the papers for my home is when I got the call giving me the diagnosis that I have breast cancer.
Mm-mm-mm. You see how the enemy try to rob us?
It
You
tried, but
know,
it didn't
it
work.
didn't
It
work.
didn't work.
It didn't work. I'm excited
Listen,
about that because see. Go ahead, finish.
it did not work. You had to persevere. Like
Mm-hmm.
I told my doctor, I said, okay, now that you told me what I have, where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you she hit the ground rolling with setting up every doctor that I needed to get through this process, from the oncologist to the breast surgeon to the plastic surgeon, from beginning to end, all my appointments was already scheduled and set up. My
Wow.
chemotherapy had been set up. I didn't have to take radiation, thank God for that. So, but I
Amen.
did take some very aggressive chemo,
Mm-hmm.
and I took chemo from September of 2000. Okay, yeah, September of 2016 through February of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2017.
So
But
that's September, October, November. It's about 6 months,
6 months,
5 or 6 months
yes,
of
of chemo,
chemo.
yes.
I didn't even know they would do chemo that long. I thought it was like maybe 4 weeks, 4 times a week, the weekends off, but 6 months of chemo?
I can't remember what the durations were in between
Mm-hmm.
each
Mm-hmm.
dose that I had,
Okay.
but I do know I did have the mastectomy in September of 2016. And right after you have that is when they give you your chemo because you want to make sure that they got all of the cells. If anything was left behind, what happens is the chemo is supposed to kill it.
Hmm.
So,
So you got a phone call in
mhm,
August of 2016,
right.
signing your
Signing
just
my
brought a
papers,
brand new house,
brand new
signing your
house,
papers,
yes.
and then they called you and told you, or did they say come in?
I'm trying to, I think I went into her office and she
Okay.
told me. My doctor would have never did that over the telephone.
Okay.
So, but the call came in for me to
Okay.
come into her
Okay.
office, right? But I already knew what it was
Hmm.
because you just get to have that feeling
Hmm.
because they're not going to call you just in the
Just a
office looking
yeah.
for nothing, just
Yes.
to tell
Yeah.
you you don't have it.
Right.
Okay, they also send you a letter in the mail for that,
Hmm.
or they may even call you for that. But
Hmm.
to tell you you actually are diagnosed with this, then they will do that face to face. Yes.
Okay. So you have been a great patient. You got your mammograms every year. 1 year you miss. And that is true. That 1 year
1 year can
can
make a
make a
difference. That's
difference.
right.
So you went and got it the next year. Then they called you. And then so why so you got diagnosed in August. So like next month you had the surgery to remove the breast.
To remove it.
They
Yes.
do it that fast?
Yes.
Wow.
Some people procrastinate. I wasn't a procrastinator. Like I said, I trusted every doctor that I had.
Hmm.
I worked in the hospital for 26 years, so 25 years.
Hmm.
So being in the hospital for 25 years and knowing all of the parties that played a part in my care, I felt good about it. And my doctor, like I said, Dr. Wright Cadet, she was amazing. When she did my hysterectomy, she called my family around my bed and she prayed.
The doctor
The
prayed.
doctor prayed.
The doctor called your
Yeah,
family.
and my aunt was an evangelist, so she didn't have to do it. That the doctor called them in and gathered them around my bed and prayed. So she was my doctor for life since then.
Wow.
I wish I had her back when I was having kids, but
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm.
she's amazing.
That just did
That
something
did
to me. To
something.
have a
Yes,
doctor, I don't think I ever experienced that.
a praying doctor,
A praying
absolutely.
doctor is amazing. That's a blessing.
Yes,
So to me, your journey was it seemed like it started out with God's hand on
on
you.
it, absolutely.
From the beginning, and you have been open online and all the things that you've been invited to. You've been open about your chemo. Before the show started, she shared something with me, and we're gonna move on. But this, what you shared with me, Lisa. I said to you, I kept saying, Lisa, now you sit over there exaggerating. Remember I said
No,
that?
yes.
Tell those that are listening to us what you told me about the chemo.
I took when I first started taking chemo. I worked now. Remember, I said I worked in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the oncology in the infusion room was not too far from, like right around the corner from my office. So I would actually go around there, and I was taking very aggressive chemo where the nurse had to sit there and push that red devil, is what they called it, into your
Oh
veins.
God.
So, but I would come back to my office and finish working for the day right after taking chemo every single day. I never went home.
Mm-mm. Now I don't know if everybody heard that. What she said is each and every time she had chemo, she did not go home. She worked in the hospital. She wasn't too far from the place that gave her the chemo. But right after they did the chemo, you went right back to your office and started working.
And started working.
And let's also share, we talked a little bit about your mindset. And I hope someone's out there listening to this because that's powerful. Because I feel that you had already had the determination in you that this was something you were going to fight.
Absolutely. No one knows that they're going to have cancer. Cancer didn't run in my family. No,
Mm-hmm.
cancer ran in my family, but not breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
No one that I know of had breast cancer. I was the first. So for her to tell me that you got breast cancer, it's like, okay. But again, that like you said, that mindset. I said, Doc, well, so what are we gonna do about it? Where are we going from
Mm-hmm. What
here?
are we going to do about it?
Where are we going from here? And first thing she said, well, I have a doctor. We're gonna start with the oncologist, which I already knew who that was gonna be. Then we're gonna start with the breast surgeon, and then we're gonna set you up with the plastic surgeon. All appointments were made before I even left. By the time I left her office and got home, all those appointments was made.
Mm-mm-mm. Let me say this to you. You walk a path, and your path was full of challenges and triumphs. What was the hardest moment for you? What was the hardest moment for you, Lisa? And where did you find your strength to get through it?
To be honest, the hardest moment for me, and when you say that, you mean in this diagnosis and
Mm-hmm.
this path of
Yes.
just
Yes.
having breast cancer. So one of the things I never questioned is God. Never questioned him. Never said why me.
Wow.
Never said why me. Why not me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Jesus.
just like anybody else that's walking around these streets. I can get it just like the next person.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I know I was chosen
Mm-hmm.
to be in this special club of women and men too, because
And
men
men
get
too.
breast cancer
Mm-hmm.
too. Um, where do I go? You don't want to sit and create a pity party for yourself. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want to sit down and soak, because one of the things you have to make sure your body is in the right mindset as well as your mind, because you don't want to put any extra stress or any strain on your body. So I gained all of my strength knowing that I was a believer, that God had me
Jesus.
each and every step of the way. And he always said he'll never leave you or forsake you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you believe that, then you know you good.
That's
So
right.
I know I was good.
That's right.
I
That's
didn't have to
right.
worry about a thing. So that's why I was able to be strong in that. Even in the weak moments, I still was able to be strong, because you just got to remember whose you are
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And just don't sit there and sulk in it,
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, that's only going to put more stress on your body. And you have to endure all of this medication that's going into your body, and you need your strength, because after you take the chemo, because it does take a lot out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even though I was able to do the things that I did, they still had to give me the things to build my blood cells back
Right.
up.
That's right. Right. Because your immune system is
Your immune
also
system is still
compromised, correct?
compromised, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
how I may look like I'm okay on the outside,
Right.
but on the inside, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, my immune system is compromised,
Mm-hmm.
and it can take you down.
And you just took the chemo, went back to work, went home, got back up, and came right
It
back to
came
work
back.
again the next day.
Mhm.
It One thing I tried to stress to my listeners, Lisa, even when I was going through what I went through, is your mindset. Um, a lot of things starts in your mind. That's like the battlefield.
Mhm.
Okay, that's where we create all kinds of things in our mind. But like you say, if you know who you are,
And whose you
and
are.
whose you are, and whose you are, and know that God got you, and you have that faith, you can get through a lot of things. But sometimes we want to defeat ourselves.
Mhm.
So it starts in your mind. Like I always say, you see it in your mind, you'll see it in time. Okay. If you vision yourself healthy, you're gonna be healthy. If you constantly visioning yourself to be sick all the time, that's the environment, that's the tone you're setting
Yes,
for yourself.
absolutely.
You know?
You have to transform that pain into a purpose.
Yes.
So when you do that, after your diagnosis, you have to shift that mindset. And like I said, don't say why you don't say why me, why not you, and what can you do with this? And that changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that while you couldn't control the diagnosis,
Mm.
you can control how you respond to it.
Yes.
So
Yes. Say that again,
yeah,
Lisa. Say it again.
you
Say it
can't
again.
control that diagnosis because that's inevitable, but you can control how you respond to it.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
That's right. So you have to find the strength and gratitude to fight. Focus on the gift of each new day that's coming. Share your journey to encourage others facing similar battles. Use that experience to advocate for awareness, early detection, and hope. Letting faith guide you instead of fear.
Mm-mm-mm.
And that's how you gain your strength.
Wow. I'm gonna say something. Now, that is powerful. I just need you to just say that one more time. Because that we could wrap the show up on that. We can wrap the show up. Literally, we could close it out on that. I
Listen,
need you to do that again. I need you to say it
absolutely,
again.
absolutely.
Because
So
somebody is listening,
somebody,
need to
that's
hear
right.
this.
And I want somebody to hear this and hope that it makes a difference in how they face their fears. So after you get a diagnosis as such as I have, choose to shift your mindset and not say, why me? Because why not you? What will you do with it? And that changes everything for you and everybody else around you,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to set the tone too, because isn't you're not the only one it's affecting. It's affecting your family and everybody else that's
That's
there.
right.
So I realized that while I couldn't control the diagnosis, but you can control how you respond to it. Finding
Mm-mm-mm.
strength and gratitude, focusing on the gift of each new day, sharing that journey to encourage others facing similar battles, using your experience to advocate for
Mm.
awareness, early detection, and hope,
Mm-mm-mm.
letting faith guide me instead of fear.
Faith.
Faith instead of fear.
That's what I'm talking about. Faith. And
That mindset don't erase the pain now, but it
right,
gave it meaning.
right.
So
There you
with that
go.
meaning, it helped you to set that even in struggle, there's power, and that your story could be a source of light for someone
Someone
else,
else.
which is what you just said.
Yes.
Say it again.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. That is so powerful. We just need to put that on a t-shirt. That needs to be a slogan, something for anything, not just breast cancer,
Yeah,
but
anything.
anything.
Listen, I got two
Anything.
T-shirt press at home. My daughter fight with me. You don't even use them.
So you
So now
got,
you're giving me a
you
reason to
got,
use
I'm
them.
telling you, you have to. I can see it. I can see it. But let me say something. That is just awesome. And that really, 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 I hope someone was inspired by that, because it resonated down in my spirit. That's why I wanted you to say that again. And I know many people say surviving cancer changes not just your body, but your spirit. Okay. How how did your faith and your support system, because we all got to have a support system,
Yes, yes.
carry you through those tough days? How many people, I hear many people say surviving cancer changed not just your body, but it also changed your spirit. So how did your faith and your support system carry you through your tough days? And you said it earlier, it wasn't you had some rough moments and you had to, so we know that, and we don't want it to be like there was no highs and lows for you.
Right.
I know just that diagnosis alone. And you know what bothers me, Lisa, is when you have a happy moment and you just feeling so good, and here come that knock from the
That's not
devil.
going from the
But you know
devil.
what I learned with the devil, Lisa? He can't be everywhere.
He sure can.
He can't. He can only knock here and he can only knock there. But you know what else we also learned through our trials and tribulations? And weeping may endure for a night, but joy will
Joy
come in the
always
morning.
come in the
And you
morning.
know that God is everywhere, omnipresent. He's everywhere. But the devil can't be. So when he tried to steal your joy, 2025, look at you now.
That's right. 10 years later.
10 years later, surviving and encouraging others. So I know it did change our bodies and it also changed our spirits. But share a little light with that. How did your faith and your support system carry you through those rough days?
That's another thing, like you said, you have to have a support system. Nobody should go through this alone. Um, find those family members that's there with you, for you. Get your team of doctors. Like you said, if you don't have the same experience that I had, always do your research. Don't take the first doctor they tell you. Get a second opinion. Find out. You want to have that perfect team of doctors, because these are the ones who's really going to be taking care of you for the rest of your life. Because my oncologist is going to be an ongoing visit. My breast surgeon will be an ongoing visit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though she's the one who does the surgery,
Mm-hmm.
you still have to see her from every now and then. It may not be as often as you see your oncologist,
Right, right.
because those visits go from every week, 3 months to 6 months. I'm now 6 months of seeing my oncologist twice a year now.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
you have to, like I said, develop a strong mind and body for yourself first. Build that team of supporters, because in those moments where you may feel like you're weak, then know they will be there to lift you up, and know that they're there to hold you up and be that back support that you need through this whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't think you can do it by yourself, because you can't. I probably thought I could do it by
By
myself
yourself.
and didn't need
Hmm.
nobody. But trust me,
And I know women like me and you, we think we could do it all I could do it
ourselves.
all by
And
myself. No, you
but
can't.
you really, really can't. You really need to have, even if you never use them, you need to know that they're there.
Yes.
That they're there to be that helping hand to you. I had a classmate from high school. I used to post little things on social media. She read something I wrote on social media. I wish I had a Bragman sandwich. You ever heard of Bragman? It's not there anymore. It's in Newark. It's
Oh,
one of
they
those.
had the best.
They had the best triple decker pastrami sandwiches ever. I wrote that on it on Facebook. I wish somebody would bring me. That evening, my doorbell rang. My classmate
Wait a
was
minute,
at
you
the
put
door.
that
I just wrote it.
that you
I
wanted a
I
Bragman sandwich.
wanted it.
Okay, that was you. Not okay.
I wrote it on there because I was like, I wanted this. You get
Hmm.
these little cravings too.
Right,
So
exactly.
I wanted that. That evening, when she got off of work, and she worked at University Hospital,
Hmm.
which means she's in Newark where Bragman's is.
Hmm.
She
Hmm.
was at my door with that sandwich.
I love it.
So that's
I love
support.
it. Now I'm gonna
That,
want a sandwich later.
exactly. That's somebody I haven't seen in years, even though we live near each
Hmm.
other.
Hmm.
She's an old high school
Wow.
classmate, love her to death. We were buddies in high school. But for her to read that after not having seen me in some years goes to show you of the support that you can have from
Have.
people that you didn't think you would have it from.
Exactly. Now that's deep. That's very deep.
Yes.
That's deep. I know it can be difficult also to speak with our family and our loved ones. I know you have a daughter. What's her name?
Kiana.
Shout out to Kiana. Hi, Kiana. I'm here with your mom. And I know at some point you had to tell her what was going on. How did you handle that kind of conversation with your daughter?
Well, my daughter, like I said, at that particular time, she was 24. She's 34 now. And she kind of thinks that the roles have reversed, that she played the mother role now and I play
They
the
do.
child. But, we ain't there yet, Kiana. However, she was 24 when I got diagnosed.
Okay.
So I explained that to her. She laughed because she said, Mom, I set her down in the living room and said,
Mm-hmm.
put my hands up, touched the right boob and said good boob, touched the left boob and said bad boob.
Mm.
And she just started busting like I can't remember if she laughed or what, but all I know is she said, I'm not 5.
Uh-huh.
But it was just my way of telling, but it brought humor to it. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Yes.
So it wasn't like a sad moment,
Okay.
a way of telling her.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I told her in a way I would tell a 5-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
it brought humor to it,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to
And you
laugh at
embraced
that
it
moment and
better.
embraced it
You
better.
embraced it
So
better.
she was
Because you could have
there.
went in there and boo-hooed and made her, So
Exactly.
you made it funny, but you also broke it down as if she was like a little 5-year-old. And you guys laughed about that. And I think that's amazing. I think that's a good way. And that's also part of how you embraced it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's still part of your whole regimen of how you put things together. And that's the point I want to make, Lisa, is that it's the mindset. It's the things that you tackle without the pity potty.
That's right.
Why me? Why not me? Okay, so now that it's me, what am I gonna
What are
do?
we gonna
I'm gonna
do?
tighten up my belt. I'm gonna pull up my big girl's underwears,
That's
and we're
right.
gonna
There you
go
go.
get this. We're gonna fight this. We're gonna put these gloves on. We're gonna throw those punches.
That's
We're
why I
gonna
got them
knock it out.
gloves. That's right.
Yes, yes. And I have to share something with you, and I'm still gonna do it. You're supposed to get some new gloves today. We wanted your name on it. Me and Dr. Love, we was gonna get there. We still gonna do it. I said we gotta get her some new gloves, but we also wanted to get another pair that you can give to someone. We want to pass these gloves on.
That's what it's all about.
That's
What
what
I'm
it's
here
about,
for.
Lisa.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, we want you to pass these because that picture with you, that thing, it stayed in my heart and it meant so much. The picture's beautiful, but because you had those pink big gloves on, and I know your story and I know what you went through,
That's right.
those gloves help fight it. So we want to get, and I'm gonna make sure that I come back and let y'all know that I got those gloves to Lisa, so she could pass it on to another person that whoever that's in your heart that needs to continue to fight.
That's
Okay,
right.
we definitely want to do that. We want to do that. Um, you call yourself a cancer warrior. Yes.
Yes.
And I like that. I like that. And I'm going to tell you something. It truly fits you. it truly fits you. What does being a warrior means to you personally?
So
I need to hear this from you.
I have a friend. She's like family. She was diagnosed with breast cancer before I was, and that's something she would always say after her whole process. And then when I developed breast cancer, she was there for me every step of the way as well. And she always said that to me. We are not just survivors; we are warriors. And I never really thought about what that really meant.
Mm.
Um, but one day I said, you know what? It is a difference than being a survivor than being a warrior. So here it goes. So when you use the word warrior, what it means to me is that being a cancer warrior means facing one of life's hardest battles with courage,
Mm-hmm.
facing it with faith and determination. Even on the days when strength feels impossible, it's not just about fighting the disease itself, but about refusing to let it take your spirit, refusing to let it take your hope
Mm-hmm.
or your joy.
Mm-hmm.
So showing up every day with resilience, even through fear and pain. Faith gave me my second chance, and I want to honor that by helping others find strength in theirs. And that's what makes you a warrior, not just a survivor.
Wow. Wow, Lisa. Let me tell you something. I had my goddaughter. She had sickle cell, and when I say she fought to the very end, um, that disease, and we named her when she passed on the warrior for sickle cell. But it's something I want to know. Like after you're diagnosed with what you just said, your mindset that helped. What helped you take and transform all that pain to purpose? You know, all that you had went through. At what point something had to just click? And I know in the beginning what we talked about, but you're diagnosed. After you're diagnosed, and here we go again with the mindset
That's right.
that help you transform your pain to a purpose.
So when you that's a serious question right there.
Yeah.
So it to help it change it into a purpose.
Mm.
Um, Surviving breast cancer changed your perspective,
Mm.
and it changes perspective on womanhood too.
Wow.
Not just health and not just a purpose and not just your health, but your womanhood. Surviving breast cancer completely transformed how you see womanhood, health, and your purpose. It helps you see that because
Mm.
you look at things now
Mm-hmm.
that you might not have looked at prior to.
Okay.
So it taught me that womanhood isn't defined by your appearance or perfection.
Mm. Say it.
It's defined by strength, resilience, and
Womanhood.
grace.
Say it.
Always.
Always.
I learned that true beauty comes from within, from the courage to keep standing even when life knocks you down. When it comes to health, I no longer take anything for granted.
Oh my God.
I've learned to listen to my body, to honor it, and care for it with love and intention. Health isn't just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. So, and my sense of purpose has grown. It's going to help me grow deeper. I know now that I was spared for a reason.
Yeah, for a reason.
It's definitely for a reason.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
to use my voice to tell my story and my faith to inspire others to spread hope and to remind people that life is precious.
Precious.
It's precious. It was something that we might have taken for granted in the past, but you definitely will not take it for granted after having this experience. Every day is a gift, and I want to live it fully with gratitude and compassion.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's
And you are.
it's definitely a gift, and that gift gives you purpose.
You are. You are. You are a walking gift. You are a living gift. And when we were talking back and forth for these last few weeks, some of your texts to me said, I'm at a revival. So I was like, she in church. This is really a God-fearing woman. And um, I went and looked on your page. I was being nosy.
That's okay.
And I saw the revival. I said, this is what she's talking about. Her church is having a revival. And that um, really uplifted me because I said from day one, she was with God. And 10 years later, she's still with God to the point she's actually in church right now having a revival, thanking God and giving God all the glory. And see, we like to praise God when we're going through the test.
That's right.
Okay. And that's when it's you forget everything. But when you have been cured and you're surviving, when you have passed that test, and I always look at that word testimony. You can't get a testimony without going through that test.
That's right.
And your testimony is you still praising God. You still lifting up God. You still glorifying God. You still honoring God. And it just encouraged me when I say revival because I don't see that often like we used to. Revival. Remember the revivals all the time.
All the time. All the time.
all the time there was revival going on in church. Sometimes there was even shut-ins.
That's
Remember the shut-ins?
We still have them at my church.
Get out of here, for real?
Shut-ins. We have youth shut-ins, yes.
Oh, wow. I haven't been through a shut-in probably since I was in high school, but revivals, shut-ins, tarrying for the Lord, Sunday school, Sunday service, afternoon service, come back sometime for the 8 o'clock service. You right back there. Tuesday, you got choir rehearsal, you got dance rehearsal, you got Friday night. That was my lifestyle. I don't see that as much. And I guess COVID sometime may have changed it a little bit to we all went online and but the shut-ins used to do it for me. The revivals used to be a lot of fun. So when I saw that on your page, it has been a minute since I saw the revival. And I'm like, they still having that? Because you don't see it. Right. You don't hear about it. You don't hear about it.
My church has definitely changed my life since I joined them in January. And it was a church, like you said, during COVID, changed a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I followed this church, Shiloh Baptist Church in Plainfield, under the direction of the Reverend Dr. Danielle Brown. Okay. Look her up, y'all. She's amazing.
Say her name again and where she's
Reverend Dr. Danielle L. Brown. Don't forget the L. She's in Plainfield at Shiloh Baptist Church, but you can see her all over. I'll follow her everywhere I can. We just did she did a revival this past Friday, and I was there at another church. If I can get there, I'm going to be there. I have not missed a Sunday in my church since I joined. But it's all about that spirit. Like you said, you have to praise him in the good times and in the bad times. Like you said, you can't have a test without a testimony.
Amen.
You can't have a testimony without a test. I said it backwards. Mm-hmm. But
amen.
When you get that testimony, I was hoping you have to praise him before that, and you have to praise him after that. Mm-hmm. And you just have to give him his glory.
Glory. You have to give him his glory all the time.
I wouldn't be here with you sitting with you right now without him.
Amen. And one thing I do is I always thank God, at least in the morning. And I even say it when I get to school. I thank God for being above ground and not in ground. That's right. Every day, because some people didn't make it. Some people didn't receive those two gifts. And I always say the two gifts are our two eyes that God blessed us to open every day.
Every day.
So I do give God my glory, and I'm constantly praying throughout the day. It just don't be just in the morning. I could be in my car, in my mindset, because I'm sitting here right now. I don't have to let you know I'm praying, but you could pray internally to yourself.
That's right.
And my best place to pray, Lisa, my closet is my car. Okay.
Your closet is your
my
car.
closet is my car.
But that's the way you can be by yourself.
Yes.
That's right.
Ain't nobody in the trunk. Anybody in the back seat. You could praise God. You could cry. You can go as loud as you want. You can lift up. I remember one time I was just praying, and this lady pulled up beside me, and she rolled down her window. She was like, "Go ahead, sister. I don't know what you're saying." She said, "But I know you're praying." She said, "I know you're praying." And that was in my car. Do you have a closet, a place you go to pray, or it's just?
I do, and I pray every day. Absolutely, I'm on my 6:30 prayer call with the church every morning, Monday through Friday.
I should have known.
And I'm up. That alarm goes
I should have known.
6, and I set it. Sit up in that bed. I read my devotionals until 6:30. I can jump on that call 6:30, and then after that, I get ready for work. But you have to keep prayer in your life and pray throughout the day. And I ain't saying I'm the best prayer, but you don't have to be the best prayer. All you can say is 2 words. It's the conversation between you and God.
You and
that's
God.
It.
You know what I tell my staff? I said, listen, especially with some of my younger teachers that's not used to being in an environment where we start our day off with prayer. I always say, listen to me, y'all. Learn the Lord's Prayer.
If nothing else.
Look at the title, the Lord's Prayer. If you don't know how to pray, learn that.
Learn that.
Because you can say that. You can pray that each and every time. You don't have to be full of all these magnificent, glorifying words.
Not at all.
God ain't looking for all of that. He just wants you to call on His name, call on the name of Jesus. Amen. So I do have a prayer closet. It's my car. Getting in the morning, and sometimes you could be running late, and you try to hurry up, and then the garbage truck get in front of you. You can't cuss the garbage truck out. You just got to sit there and pray, because you don't know what that garbage truck might be stopping you from getting into, So that prayer, we already know, and and you are a living testimony that prayer changes things, right?
When you get in my car, that's all you're going to hear is gospel.
So see, you get in my car, you might not hear nothing. Nobody likes to ride with me in my car, Lisa, because I don't play on nothing. If I do, it's the news. I'm be honest with you.
That's all right. You get some information somewhere.
Because my environment is not like yours. Mine, when I get to work, it's nonstop noise. It's noise, the kids. So when I get that moment to bring it down, I love it.
It's quiet where I'm at, so I understand.
Yeah.
I ain't nowhere near the patients. I ain't out there. I'm in my office, quiet.
Yeah. So listen, there are women listening to us right now. Hi, Pretty in Pink. Hi, Miss Adrian. The Lord's Prayer. Dr. Love, I see all you guys. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us. But Lisa, there are women right now, listening right now, who may have received their diagnosis. What words of encouragement would you give them tonight?
Don't give up. Pray. I'm not going to tell you not to cry. I'm not going to tell you not to beat yourself up. Whatever you got to do to get that out of your system, to put that faith over fear, do it. Do it right up front. Get it out so that you can be ready for this fight that you're about to fight that's ahead of you. Because you're going to need your strength.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need every bit of it. You're going to need God. If you don't have, whatever your religion is, you're serving some type of God somewhere, somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that faith. Don't give up. And just fight the best fight you ever fought in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because your life is dependent on it.
Yes, that is so true.
And develop that support system, because you cannot do this alone. Develop that good team of doctors that's going to be there for you, because these are the doctors this is your lifeline.
That's right.
So make sure you trust the doctors that's going to handle your care. But get that support as well. The family, get it, because you're gonna need them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't call on them right now, at least you know they're there to be that support for you.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Get a good team.
A good team. Have faith.
Have faith. Stay with your support system and maintain a very good mindset. I want to switch a little bit, because when I was looking at all of your accolades and everything you have done, even with surviving cancer, and we're here 10 years later, you received incredible. And when I say incredible, Lisa, you have received some incredible recognition, okay? Including a legislative resolution from the state of New Jersey honoring your courage and honoring your community service. What did that do for you? What did that moment, those accolades, those achievements? Because let me tell you something, it's not easy getting out there and going to battle in the community, and because you don't know how the community is going to come for you. So for you to receive all those type of incredible recognition, you had to go 100% all full force in, especially with the legislation resolution that you received.
It's one of the things I've always done all my life is never burn bridges. No matter.
I'm done. We can close the program up with that.
And all of these people that have given me these accolades and put me in these spaces, it was from one connection to the next connection. And these were lifelong relationships. And then when I had the diagnosis, it gave me even more developed relationships because now you're in a whole different circle of people. So those honors mean so much to me because they represent more than just my the personal recognition of it. They symbolize the impact of turning struggles into service. Each acknowledgement reminds me that my journey, though painful at times,
Right.
has purpose beyond myself.
Right.
Being recognized by the New Jersey legislator and other organizations affirms that my voice and advocacies are making a difference, raising awareness and inspiring others, and helping those who may feel unseen in their own battles. To me, these honors are not just awards.
Right.
They're reminders of God's grace, the
Right.
power of perseverance, and the importance of using my story to uplift others. They encourage me to keep going and to
And they
encourage
do.
others to keep
They
going
do.
and to keep speaking, to encourage others to keep speaking, and to continue being a light for so many and for those who are fighting.
And you know what I like about they not just awards.
They're not.
You know, they mean something, and it's very encouraging to receive awards. It does give you more hope. It does give you more ammunition to just want to keep on going
Just
because
keep
it's
going.
inspiring.
Absolutely.
You know, it's an achievement, yes, but it's something that you put your effort in and you receive something, but it's the recognition that you want to give it so others can see it because we know what we've done, but to have a recognition like that, you also do a lot more than just receive. You are involved with wigs giveaway.
Okay, I don't really have direct involvement with that
Okay.
organization. How I came to know that
Okay.
organization is through the honors of me receiving the award from the legislators.
Oh wow.
They were actually a vendor at the event, so I got to know them there, and it's a great organization because, like I said, I haven't had a direct involvement with them, but I deeply admire the heart and purpose being behind their program. What they do goes far beyond providing wigs.
Really? So it's just not
Definitely
wigs,
not
wigs.
just wigs.
Okay.
They restore confidence where people lose confidence because they've lost their hair. Wigs give you that confidence that you didn't know you had, that what you had before you lost your hair.
Yeah.
It restores hope in women walking through one of the toughest seasons of their lives. So losing your hair during treatment can be deeply emotional. It was for me because I knew I wasn't gonna wear no wig, but I tried that thing. It just didn't work. And
Okay.
programs like that just remind me of women that beauty and strength come from within. And your compassion helps people see themselves again, and not just as patients, but as survivors and warriors. And that kind of impact is just truly so powerful. So that's what that organization provides. It just helps to restore people's the beauty in
The
them.
beauty, yeah. I know earlier we had talked a little bit about the one of the myths I want you to share because I had a girlfriend of mine. I saw her on social media, and I'm gonna be honest with you, she was ringing the bell, you know, and I was just so overjoyed. I was so happy, Lisa, when I saw her ring that bell, and the nurses and her family, everybody was standing around and cheering and cheering. And then a couple of weeks ago, I gave her a phone call, and she said to me, um, "My son is on his way to shave my hair, cut my hair." And I'm like, "Well, for what?" You know, she said, "Because I'm still dealing with it." I said, "No, but you rung the bell." I said, "I saw you ring the bell." She said, "Marlene, that means I finished my treatment." She said, "It did not mean I finished the battle yet." And I was just devastated because when I saw her ring that bell, I was just full with joy. And then to get that conversation with her that that bell does not mean cancer.
Right.
So I know you have also worked to break a lot of myths about breast cancer. Um, can you share not just one many myth that we can kind of like clear up tonight
Absolutely.
with that for our listeners? Because that was one that I really just thought meant that you beat it. That bell means you
Yes,
beat it.
The bell, it means that the hardest part of your battle is over, but you still have more to come. Right now I'm still taking a chemo pill,
Mm-hmm.
and some doctors will prescribe that to you for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Others will prescribe that to you for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you finished the physical chemo, you was able to ring that bell. It just shows that the hardest part of your battle is over. Now you got to continue the rest. But yes, there are so many myths out there, like only women get breast cancer. No, not true. Men get breast cancer too.
Men too.
Um, the other one is if you don't have a family history of breast cancer, that you won't get it. Yes, you will. I didn't have a family history. Here I am, breast cancer. Um, Wearing underwire bras and deodorant can cause breast cancer. There's no scientific evidence to support that.
Wow.
Okay, so breast cancer only come from lumps. You can feel. Not true. Mine was from a discharge from my nipple, from my breast.
So you didn't have a
I
lump.
didn't have a lump, no, and I didn't even know the discharge had been in my bra for some time before I decided to ask the doctor about it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Dr. Right Cadet, I said, I'm getting this dry, crusty stuff in my left bra. Well, you know what that is? And when she looked at me, she said, "Let me see." She just took a little thing and scraped some of it. She squeezed my breast to get some of the liquid out. The mush didn't come out, but something did, and that's what started her. She never said that it can be cancerous or anything like that. She took me through the test, and that's what it turned out to be. So it's not just a lump in your breast.
And you know what, Lisa? Hold on. That's so important because, again, we do, we look for the lump.
Mm-hmm.
And you just educated me, and I love you for this because we also need to look out for discharge.
Discharge, that's right.
From our breasts. Not we feeling for lumps, but in all reality, if something ain't right, just go and get it checked out.
Just go get it checked. Yes.
Just go and get it checked out.
You know your body. A mammogram is another one that says a mammogram can cause cancer to spread.
No. I've heard that.
Mammograms are very low levels of radiation, do not cause cancer or make it spread. The benefits of early detection far outweigh any minimal risk.
Mm-hmm.
So again, get those mammograms. The one of the other myths was what we talked about earlier is that younger women don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I explained to you that women as young as in their early 20s have gotten diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer to the point where there's nothing else they can really do about it because it's stage 4 and it's beyond treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it? The age to get a mammogram used to be what, 40, 50?
Mm-hmm.
So they trying to get those numbers lower. But if you have family members or if it run in your family and you are in your 20s or early 30s or whatever, go get that mammogram because you can get it.
And Lisa, I was at an event last night, Colors of Courage, hosted by D Nice Production, and it was held in Piscataway. And a lot of the survivors were being honored. And I could be wrong, but there was this girl, like 28, that had survived cancer. And we're not looking at, when you think of cancer, you're not thinking of 28, 25.
No, you're not.
So see how things are changing. Cancer's not prejudice.
It's not at all.
I don't care if you're black, white, green, purple, tall, short, fat, bald. It can show up in any one of us. And you just said, will denouncing most of these myths, early detection. And paying attention to our bodies, not just women, but men also.
And it's so funny because when you was talking about your friend ringing the bell and that was the end of her treatment and you thought the cancer was over, that's a myth right here too. Once treatment is over, you're done with breast cancer? No. Survivorship comes with ongoing care, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Many survivors deal with follow-up, visit, medication, and healing for years to come.
So you're surviving, but you still got to stay on top of everything.
You still have to stay on top of everything because one of the biggest fears is reoccurrence.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
So that's
Yes.
why it's an ongoing process for us, because you just never know what can happen.
Hmm.
And this is why you have to see these doctors for the rest of your life. Yes, you ring that bell, but that bell just means the hardest part of the battle is behind you. But now you got to move forward
Hmm.
and
Wow.
continue the rest of the battle in your treatment.
Um, what about you? We were saying something earlier when we had our little brief conversation. The numbers are changing. They're being lowered down from, like you said, the younger people now. So even to the young people that's out there, even to the older people that listen that have younger daughters and sons, let them know, cancer is attacking men and women under 30, 40, 50, and 60. It can come at any age. It's not just, okay, you over 40, you might get it. Times are changing. We're now getting ready to go into 2026. And you want to know something, Lisa? Time is moving so fast. I don't think we even realize how fast time is
That's
moving,
right.
and that's the scary part about it. After all you've been through, Lisa, how has your journey changed your view and this is really deep, because you touched a little bit about it. How has cancer changed your journey in womanhood, wellness?
Cancer has definitely changed my journey in womanhood, only because it helps you see things differently. It helps you put new perspective on life and on being a woman, because your whole purpose has changed. It's changed your purpose. It changed how you view life. It changed how you view yourself. You
Mm.
you really have to look at it as it helps you value yourself more, because before, we went through life la 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 la
Mm-hmm.
every
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Before, we just didn't think that this we I ain't gonna say I never thought it would happen to me,
Mm-hmm.
but you ain't looking for it to happen to
Mm-hmm.
you. But it definitely changes your whole life and your whole womanhood, because now you sit on a different side of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And now, once you've crossed that side of the spectrum, you have to look at life differently.
Definitely.
It
Yeah.
has to change you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you think you haven't changed, you have.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want to see it or not, you definitely change.
So, do you look at it as like a, a breath, a close, brief brush with death? Did that ever, like?
It those things don't always cross your mind. It
Mm-hmm.
definitely crossed my mind, because, like I said before, one of the biggest fears of my life is leaving this world not knowing that my child is self sufficient.
Wow.
She's the only child.
Jesus.
So if something happened to me in the early stages of her life,
Mm-hmm.
what would happen to her?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
always that's one of my biggest prayers to God is to
Mm-hmm.
let me live long
No
enough
enough.
to see her
Yes.
self sufficient. So when I got developed breast cancer, that whole picture just flashed before my eyes.
I can imagine.
It just flashed before my eyes. God, this can't be.
I can imagine.
But again,
And
it's
that
it's
did that
me.
make you just go even
It just
harder?
made exactly there you go right there. So that even helped my fight
Mm-hmm.
even more.
Mm-hmm. I shared with you about my mom, who she was a tough lady. She really was. But Lisa, she dealt with three different cancers. She got diagnosed very early with ovarian cancer. Um, she got diagnosed with colon cancer. And then she got diagnosed with throat cancer. And I shared with you, my mom said to me, this one's going to take me out. She said,
She
I'm
knew
not
that.
going, I'm not going to come out of this one. She said, but I've been holding on because I didn't want to leave you by yourself. And I always kept those words in my heart and knew that my mom, even on her bedside, she was still thinking of me as you still
That's
thinking of
right.
your
Yep.
daughter. And I have three daughters. And my prayer have never been that prayer, but at least I did ask God to see me live long enough to get them all through school.
School. That's
I didn't say college. I was just thinking, Lord, let me live long enough to see them get through high
high
school, but He
school.
allowed them to get through college and beyond. And how if I wanted to connect with you, tell the people how they could connect with you. How can we reach out to you if we wanted to just invite you to be on a platform or just want to hear more of your story? Because believe it or not, this right here, we didn't touch all that we could have touched with what you've done. So I need you to say something really quick to anybody that's out there listening. What action you would want them to take as listeners?
The biggest takeaway that I would want anybody listening on here, as a survivor, as someone who's currently going through, someone who might have just got a diagnosis, and even if you know someone who has gotten a diagnosis, someone who's going through, or someone who has been through what I've been through, um, be that support, be
Mm-hmm.
that voice, be that person who's a helping hand. And if you got through this, and like I said, this is an ongoing battle, ongoing fight for us. This is a space that we didn't choose to be in, or
Right.
that we were chosen to be in.
Right.
But you want to keep somebody else from coming into this space.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's someone who is have to come into this space, then be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
Help them get through it, because everybody is not as strong as the next person.
That's right.
Everybody
right.
don't have the same stamina.
Right.
So
That's right.
if you have to be that person to help that person get through that journey, then I always say, if I can just help one,
Mm-hmm. Just one.
just one,
Yep.
I've made a difference.
Yep.
I want to help more.
Yes.
I can't save the world.
Right. Right.
Even though we try, we've made a difference.
Lisa, let me say something. Okay? Your courage, your heart, unwavering faith remind all of us that no matter what life brings, we can rise again.
That's right.
Living testimony that with faith, support, and perseverance, we beat the odds. And to all our listeners, remember everything that she said, but the most important thing she said is early detection save lives. Get your screenings, support one another, and keep spreading hope. You have been listening to the One Step Ahead radio show. And don't forget that no matter what life deals with you, no matter how life takes you back, stay focused, educate yourself, inspire yourself. Sometimes you got to pat your own self on
That's
your
right.
back. But when life want to take you
Encourage
back,
yourself.
you got to keep going. Okay? You can't like whatever's dealing with you. What they say, if I give you lemons, what are you going to do with them?
Make lemonade.
Make lemonade. You can make lemonade and keep going. Lisa is a pillar, a tenacity of woman with great faith who have been surviving cancer for over 10 years, and she's still going strong. If you need to go back and listen to this is powerful, you guys. Whatever the devil deals with you, don't mean you take it. Whatever life gives you, it don't mean that you have to go backwards. So just keep going and going and going, and remember to go one step ahead. Thank you for listening to One Step Ahead Radio Show. I'm your host here with Lisa Krap. Thank you for being on my show.
Thank
we
you.
will see you next Sunday at 5:30 because we are still surviving cancer and we still have more to share with you. So stay tuned and thank you all. Peace and blessings, family.